take another subject which is my domain in the SSB, GTO. Okay, so we'll not talk in classical GTO term, we'll talk in a different manner. Group dynamics. Okay, so we all understand the very fact is that director के presence में our body language, our attention, our responses have reduced. Yes, no? Be honest. Who are? Yes. What has happened?
I'll move on. Sorry. The aim is being.
Sir, sorry for that. The fact is, the difference between psychological test and the group testing is, in this psychological test, you are giving that test as an individual. Even though all of us sitting together, but his performance does not affect the other person's performance. Yes, no? But in the group testing, his presence affects you and me. Now we थोड़ा सीधा हो गया, साला सुनना बंद कर दिया. Have you understood what I'm trying to say? Why? Because my behavior is not only my behavior, it is a flow of energy. So we create a kind of a dynamics जहाँ पे हर आदमी एक दूसरे को affect करना शुरू कर देगा. Yes, no? Let me give you an example. आपके अपने क्लास में whichever department you are, in your own class, you would have come across people जो बहुत academically they are very good, but when it comes to उनके पास जाके कोई doubt पूछो, तो you feel very very uncomfortable. They make you know कि तुम गधे हो. है ना? You feel so uncomfortable. अरे यार किसके पास चला गया? है ना? They can be another person who is a mediocre kind of person, but you feel very comfortable going there. होता है कि नहीं? होता है. है ना? Let us take another example. There is a person who is good, and उसके पीछे मक्खी की तरह भी लोग लगे रहते हैं. पता है goodness is so much that person has no problem in sharing that goodness with others. Yes, no? Okay, third category of people. पैसे उसको कोई पूछता नहीं है. अलग अलग पड़ा था. जहाँ तुम्हें मुसीबत आया, अरे उसको वहाँ उसको ढूंढो, उसके पास चलो, वो अपना समझ रहे क्या बोलते हैं? होता है कि नहीं? वैसे भी डोंट बॉदर कहाँ, क्योंकि इज वेरी वेरी अपना मस्त रहता है. पर जहाँ प्रॉब्लम आया वो टॉपर भी नहीं, वो भी नहीं, उसको ढूंढो. होता है कि नहीं? और एक आदमी अरे वो आ गया भैया कट लो अच्छा नहीं है. So in some cases you find their absence is felt. वो absent हो जाए तो बड़ा बुरा लगता है. In some cases presence से बड़ा तकलीफ होता है कि अरे यार हमारे घर फिर आ गया छुट्टी से. होता है कि नहीं? So it affects. Now take your own family. Now my brother behaves in a particular manner, it disturbs the harmony of the house. Shikha ने कुछ किया, story वाला, something happened. So the point that I'm trying to say is, we are a social animal, and we interact with each other, and that interaction creates a kind of energy, field around us, and that field has an influence on the performance of the other person also. Now let us take your own psychological story. Even though you were not interacting with each other, but your characters were interacting. Somebody fired. Ram Lakshman, they engaged. In some case they didn't engage. Somebody gave a ring from them, बोला भाई ये क्या कर रहे हो? They engaged. Shikha को problem था. Somebody went something, you know. So even when you're creating that story with your own creation, there was a social interaction. Only thing is, उसमें और GTO जो अभी मैं बताने वाला हूँ, GTO को छोड़ो आप लाइफ में, the difference is वहाँ पे you had a free will. आप बोलोगे left, he will go left. वहाँ पे बोलोगे right, he will go right. But यहाँ पे तुम मुझे बोलो left, I'll say I'll with you, I'll go right. बोलूँगा कि नहीं? Have you understood? So यहाँ पे the interaction is actually dynamic and it affects each other. जिस ease के साथ तुम शिखा को काउंसलिंग में लेके चले गए थे, मेरे पास आ जा, ले जाओ मुझे काउंसलिंग. So यहाँ पे you will have to actually execute what you execute in the psychological test. Have you understood what I'm trying to say? तो psychological test में आपने कितना भी बड़ा झंडा गाड़ दिया, I want a miniature झंडा in the GTO also. यहाँ तो आपने एकदम करेज दिखा दिया, जंप मार के ना वो एलिफेंट के ऊपर से और वहाँ पे रास्ता देख के ऐसे 2 बार देखा, बोला सर थैंक यू. Have you understood what I'm trying to say? So there is a difference. So let's see that difference. Story of donkey. Okay, so let's call donkey 1, donkey 2. Okay, donkey 1, donkey 2, foot 1, foot 2. Okay, they both want to have. So foot 1, donkey 1, foot 2, donkey 2. बहुत मुश्किल. और जोर से foot 1, donkey 1, foot 2, donkey 2. बहुत मुश्किल. Okay, now what happens? Yeah, any idea? लगे रहेंगे तो दोनों. Yeah, so foot 1, donkey 2. दोनों ना आइडिया लगाई तो बदला इसका तो मुश्किल हो जाएगा. Okay, so it was foot 1, donkey 1, donkey 2. ठीक है. So teamwork better for all. Komal Chotala या प्रीति सबरवाल, it does not matter. Team matters. भाई जंगल में एक रूल है ना, we are all part of the nature, larger nature. जंगल में there is only one rule. It's called Matsya Nyaya, law of the fishes, where it is justified for a large fish to eat the small fish. कोई उसमें पाप नहीं कर रहा, कोई पुण्य नहीं कर रहा, है ना. शेर को हिरण को खाने का अधिकार है, ना उसमें बेचारा है वो, ना ये दुष्ट है, क्योंकि वो बेचारा के चक्कर में रहेगा तो शेर भूखा मर जाएगा. Okay, so the gazelle has to run faster so that he survives, and the cheetah has to run faster than him so that he survives. This is called jungle nyaya or law of the fishes, Matsya Nyaya. This is the primary law of the nature. इसमें कोई गलत नहीं है. Okay. So what is it? Yeah, next में क्या होगा? उसको भूख नहीं लग रहा. Trust me, these are real photographs. ये कोई मॉफ नहीं है. उसको भूख नहीं लग रहा. फ्रिज हमने आपने बनाया, आज के लिए भी, कल के लिए भी, परसों के लिए भी. मार के उसको डाल दो. We exploit, animals don't exploit. So we are social animals, but our social part is only 1%. 99% of our being is still animal. 99% of our being is still animal. बोलते हैं social animal, but trust me, 99% of our being is still. So ours is culture, there is nature. Matsya Nyaya. We have evolved, gentlemen. We saw this photograph last time also because we have a larger brain. So we created culture. But within culture, we have 99% animal. That's why you find आप लोग सब खड़े हो, आर्मी में आओगे, क्यों? गन पकड़ोगे तो कौन आएगा? शेर आएगा. मैं अपनी बेटी को बोलता, बेटा शाम को 5 बजे के 6 बजे का उधर से नहीं जाना, क्यों? शेर है वहाँ. नहीं, मेरा जैसा कोई और शेर मान लो. Look at the paper. We are all animals. Sometimes you wonder, have we evolved? Look at the paper. We know what I am talking. So what social are we talking? So we are all representing that larger society from which all kinds of people are there. So the effort in all of us is to move from this 1% to 1.2. And if you can do that, we are moving in the positive domain. Otherwise, we are moving toward the nature's law. वो भी ठीक है. But we go beyond that. When you go beyond to the negative side, then the exploitation starts. Then you have sex rackets, then you have child labor, then you have all kinds of problems. It is not because of survival, it is because of our exploitative tendency. So the creation of culture starts with the destruction of nature. अगर आपको pot बनाया, दादाजी created that pot, it started with destruction of nature because मिट्टी खोदा. We created this huge building, we cut trees. Are you understanding क्या बोल रहा हूँ? So somewhere, if you see in that sense, the creation of culture starts with the destruction of nature. So we are cultured. We'll see how cultured. Now let's get back to little more closer to our requirement. Gentlemen, to understand any human being, you cannot understand him or her in isolation. The psychological test paper में क्या लिखा उसको देख के isolation में, it does not happen that way. If you want to understand me, you see me in context of a social situation. समाज में मैं कैसा behave करता हूँ in this various situation. Let me give you an example. So this is the social environment. We are all part of this larger social environment. That's why we are social beings. So this is you and me, all of us. And in this society we keep interacting with various situations. And in the process we give out some kind of a behavior back to the environment. Very simple. This is called the social field theory. You don't have to understand what is the social field theory and all that. It's just to tell you what it means, all that. Okay. So I'm okay as long as I'm very comfortable. But suddenly a tragedy strikes me. ना तुमने मेरा स्कूटर चुरा लिया, या तुमने something. Then you see what I do. Yeah, you want to see कि when tsunami strikes me, इतना बड़ा confident, बड़ा दादागिरी कर रहा है, हवा ही निकल गया. होता है कि नहीं है? So you find कि when subjected to different situations, जो बंदा जिसको आप एक टाइप से देखते आ रहे थे, suddenly he starts behaving differently. वो है, होता है कि नहीं? अपने own family में सब कुछ सही चल रहा है, फादर का कंट्रोल है, 3 ब्रदर है, सब सही सीधा सीधा चल रहे हैं. फादर का डेथ देखो वहां पे क्या हो जाता है. होता है कि नहीं है? इट इज ऑल पार्ट ऑफ बनावट के अंदर है ये सब. सो अनलेस यू सब्जेक्ट दिस पर्सन टू डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ ए सिचुएशंस, पूरा उसका डायनेमिक्स पता नहीं चलता. ओके, सो दिस इज अंडरस्टैंडेबल. शिखा जब तक सेमेस्टर एग्जाम का रिजल्ट नहीं आया तो बहुत बढ़िया. जैसे रिजल्ट आया देखो उसने क्या कर दिया. साइकिल से जब स्कूल जा रही थी कुछ नहीं हो रहा था, जैसे वो बच्चा गिरा यू फाइंड अ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ ए थिंग, है ना. सो यू वर क्रिएटिंग देयर, बट इट हैपेंस इन लाइफ आल्सो. So your personality or your behavior is a function of your personality interacting with the environment. Very, very simple. It's a psychological thing. You don't have to write all those things, but just understand this is the way it is. And we unconsciously we are aware of it. Only thing is I am bringing that into your awareness. ये सब वैसे भी हमको पता है, but मैं थोड़ा सा और उसको clearly बता रहा हूँ. Now let us come the same model how we do it in the SSB. You don't have to know it, but you will know now कि जब तुम जो भी behave करते हो, it is so easily interpretable. कि हमको बहुत आसान से पता चल जाता है कि तुम्हारे अंदर क्या चल रहा है इस जो भी करने से. Once you understand this, the aim is कि you know कि वहाँ पे acting करके कितने देर किसको बेवकूफ बनाओ. जब तुमको पता चल गया कि कीकर का पेड़ है, तो मुझे नहीं पता चलेगा. Have you understood what I'm trying to say? So it's very easy. So it is better if you know कि there is a कीकर का पेड़, remove it and plant a mango tree. वो इतना भी होगा ना, we know कि इसको can be nurtured. पर तुम 50-15,000 का नहीं, तुम 25,000 का लगा दो. When you know it, you think I will not know. And trust me, within this technique, not only I see what you do, I can also hear what you are thinking. I can also hear what you are thinking. I'll give you an example. तुमको भी पता चलेगा क्या बोल रहा हूँ. So these are my situations. I've created certain situations. And बड़ा simple है, लगता है चिड़ी है, फटा बली लेके इधर उधर भागते रहे and all that. Okay. So don't worry about what is this. Now let's come to movie लगान. उससे पहले there are 3 rounds. All of you when you go to any interview, SSB छोड़ दो, किसी भी interview में जा रहे हो. Okay. All of you go with the self-interest कि I should get selected. Yes, no. इसमें कोई denial तो नहीं है. There is no denial. All of us in life, like I am standing here, I may have a hidden agenda. Why should I say I may have it? I need to have. Why I am working so hard for something? Maybe because I have some which may not be visible to you. But do you think it does not exist in my mind? Free of cost, फौज में साला हुआ तो पूरा 2 बजे तक रह के अपना नींद छोड़ के इधर आया हुआ है. Do you think it is without any hidden agenda? I will have some agenda which you may not be aware, which you may not be aware. I may be aware which I might tell you, I might not tell you. But if you think कि मैं ऐसे ही अपना मैं कोई ब्रह्मचारी हूँ क्या मतलब साधु बाबा तो हूँ नहीं. So all of us have self-interest. Let us take it for granted. We are all selfish. You are paying so much of attention. I can see a lot of people in uniform. If this interaction was not useful, would you like to come here? नहीं सो रहे होते. अगर ये बोर होता बोलता बकवास करना पता नहीं क्या कौन आ गया. Would you like to come here? So are you not selfish in that sense? Yes. So there is no problem. It's not selfish. We will explain what is the selfish thing that I am talking. So the point is, we all have self-interest. Now comes to the second circle, group interest. Okay, let's come to movie Lagan. Everybody when they came there, they had no group interest. I'm Preeti Sabharwal from so and so, so and so, so and so. The only person who was constantly thinking about that was कौन था? Kabir Khan. But do you think Kabir Khan automatically group interest लेके आया था? He had his own self-interest कि मेरे को ये दाग मिटाना है. अगर वो नहीं होता, अगर वो जीत जाता, let us take another example. अगर कबीर खान की जगह उसका नाम किरण कुमार होता, तो शायद इसकी जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. Why? Because today, as a Muslim, even you are a good achiever, you are under a scammer for whatever reason, good or bad. समझ रहे क्या बोल रहा हूँ? So अगर कबीर खान की जगह वो किरण कुमार होता, तो शायद चंदे इंडिया में करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. लोग चार गाली देते हैं, तुमने क्या कर दिया, क्या नहीं किया, and that's the end of it. Just because he was Kabir Khan, he had a different set of experience. Yes, no? So when he had a group interest in the beginning, do you think he came only with a group interest? He had no self-interest. He had a self-interest, and the self-interest was very, very, very strong. समझ में आ रहा क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं? But could he achieve that by his own whatever skills he had? He could. So he did something. And I'm just giving you an analogy. Okay. Now let us come back to GTO. Now as a GTO, I'm not interested what is your self-interest. I'm neither interested what is the group interest. What I am interested is कि इन दोनों का interplay का असर पूरे dynamics में कैसे पड़ रहा है. I'll say I'm interested in the process. I'm not interested in task. मेरी तरफ से task की ऐसी भी तैसी हो या ना हो. मेरी तरफ से discussion हो या ना हो. What I'm looking is कि how are these two interests, self-interest, group interest, and इन दोनों को जो interplay कराने के लिए जो task है, इसका interaction से what is coming out. समझ रहे क्या बोल रहा हूँ? So I'm interested in that. So I am interested in the process. Let me give an example. X cube plus y cube plus 2xy plus 4 is equal to something something. Find the value of x and y. Let us take the answer is x is equal to 3 and y is equal to minus 7. Answer सही है. Okay. So to this equation, आप अगर सीधा x is equal to 3 and y is equal to minus 7 लिख देते हो, do you think your teacher will give you marks? Answer सही है, क्यों नहीं देगा बताओ? Where are the steps? Where are the steps? So for me, this is a mathematical equation. Outdoor some Fattabani and all that. That is x cube plus y cube or something something. You come with that coach response. Dashari aam band ke, he kar raha pet. You come straight away and talk here also x is equal to 3 and y is equal to minus 7. You know what you have done? You have actually spoiled the task. You have actually finished the task. It is neither good for you और उसमें अगर एक दो भूगोल होंगे तो वो भी मारे जाए. Take it from me. What is there to assess in that? कुछ भी नहीं बचा. Have you understood क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं? Because the whole thing is not gone as it should go. We will see why it, I have kept a small thing here. I don't think we will have time to do that. And you will actually see कि क्या मैं बोल रहा हूँ. And trust me, let me again repeat it. As a GTO, in tools को use करके, not only I see what you behave, I can also train to find out what your belief is. In a sense, I can hear what you are thinking inside. Now let me today I don't think we can continue further. So I'll give you a small video with these inputs जो कुछ भी मैंने बोला है उससे आपको दिखाऊंगा कि आप मैं कुछ इंस्ट्रक्शंस दूंगा उस तरीके से देखना और जो वीडियो दिखाऊंगा उसमें आपको दिखाई देगा कि वो बंदा बोल कुछ नहीं रहा लेकिन उसके अंदर अभी क्या क्या जनरेट हो रहा है और साथ में उसके चारों तरफ जो भी है whoever is that you will find nobody speaking but all of you will know कि इस टाइम इसके मन में ये चल रहा है इस टाइम इसके मन में ये चल रहा है उसके मन में ये चल रहा है and if you can do that trust me I can do that. Let's have the video. We have actually spoken about the video number of times. Okay, so we are talking about an outward response will come. That is the product. Okay, that will come at some stage. उससे पहले situation will get developed out of the blue. Once a situation develops, you will find everybody there is engaging with that situation in their own manner based on their whatever. Without their speaking, you will also know कि अगर इस जगह में x की जगह y को रख दे तो probably ये outcome होगा. So not only you will know कि what are the responses getting generated, you would also know without their speaking कि इन लोगों ने ये decision अंदर ले लिया, it is only बोल नहीं रहे. Okay, so let's see this and observe it from the way I have spoken.